In this video we're going to look at printing from Google Sheets. We're going to look at freezing rows and columns, and we're briefly going to look at Google Sheet templates. Printing from Google Sheets is straightforward. From the taskbar you can select the first icon on the left, which is the print icon, by just clicking on it. Alternatively, you can click on File and Print, or if you're on a Mac, Command key and P. If you're on a Windows PC, Control and P. With printing, you can print the entire sheet, the entire workbook, or a selection. So in this instance, I'm going to highlight a selection of data by holding down the left clicker and moving around the cells. I've selected an area, and this is the area I want to print. I'm going to click on Print. I'm going to click on Selection. I'm going to click on Include Document Title. The paper size is inherited from my computer settings. I'm not going to change that. I'm happy with A4. The layout, I have a choice of fit to width or actual size. The difference meaning with fit to width, if the text is slightly too large, it will be reduced in size to fit to the width of the page selected. Actual size will allow the text to overflow onto subsequent sheets on the printer. The orientation is between portrait and landscape. It would be more common to use landscape for spreadsheets because they tend to work better wide rather than tall. So I'm happy with these settings, so I'm just going to click on Print. Now I have a dialog which is the data that I've selected, and on the left hand margin it tells me what printer I'm going to print to, what options. Again, some of them are repeated. I can select two-sided if my printer can do that. So if you're happy with the settings and happy with the print preview, I just want to select page 1. Click on Print. I can then close the print preview and I'm back to my worksheet, and that's printing in Google Sheets. The next thing I'm going to look at is freezing rows and columns. The option of freezing rows and columns is with a large set of data. As you scroll down, you no longer can see the column headings, meaning you can lose touch with what the data means. I can see that this data here are dates, but I don't necessarily know what those dates relate to. On subsequent columns are numbers, but I'm actually not certain of what the context is. So the way around that is by fixing the rows and columns. If I click on View and I click on Freeze Rows, I can select the number of rows to freeze from the top. So freeze rows, row 1 would just freeze the top row, which contains the URL on the spreadsheet. But really what I want is to freeze the top 6 rows, because row 6 is the row that contains the headers that I need to give my data context. I can click on View, Freeze Rows, and freeze 6 rows, and it puts a border along here. Now if I start scrolling with the mouse, the headers, or the first 6 rows, stay fixed. If I want to, I can manually move the freeze rows margin to make it longer or shorter, but I'm happy with this setting here. If you have a set of data that scrolls far to the right, you can also choose to freeze the columns in the same way. I can unfreeze columns and rows by just dragging them over to the upper and left hand margins, or simply click on View, Freeze Rows, No Frozen Rows, Freeze Rows, No Frozen Columns. Now we're going to look at Google Sheet templates. Google Drive, or previous version Google Docs, had a selection of templates which are still available. So from the Create button on Google Drive, if I select Template, I am brought into the Google Drive or Google Docs template gallery. I might look for a template such as a round robin template. Click on Search Templates and see what's returned. And we can see there's a choice of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you want, you can click on the button Use this template, and we'll choose this one. And this opens the template for you, which you can start using in Google Drive.